Hello everybody, Rogue Fox here, and welcome back to another episode of Truly Bedrock. This is episode 24, and last episode we did a little bit of singing, or at least I did. Don't know what came over me, I just felt like singing in that episode, so if you didn't catch that episode, I have about, I think 3 bits where I sing, and one of them is a rap, or at least what I consider rapping, the best I can do. And we finished this building right here. We added another building to the town, and you guys have given me some feedback in the comment section of that episode. For this, I wasn't quite sure how this was looking. I thought it looked pretty good, and then a couple of you had mentioned that I should try using campfires for the awning, and yeah, that was a really good idea. I placed in 6 of them right here, and this definitely adds a lot of texture to the awning that we have going on. I think it looks really good. So I got this started, and I have a few more campfires that I do need to place because we need to knock these out. And let's go ahead and put those in. For the campfires, I am placing them in this direction because I totally forgot that it does matter which way you place them. And I knocked these out because I kept taking damage and it got very annoying, so I can always replace those. So I'm going in this direction so the awning has the wood going here, and then we have the wood sticking out facing forward, and I think that looks really good. Now what I need to do is grab a bucket of water and throw some water here, and for some reason the water is very laggy. I don't know why. I don't know what anyone else is doing on this realm. I know there are about 5 of us online right now, so who knows what everyone else is up to. I know there are a couple of them live streaming. I haven't seen the schedule, so I'm not quite sure who's streaming right now. There is Blue Jay, so that makes 6 of us. And then if we can go ahead and place these campfires in, let's grab these. Again, we are placing them in this direction. And right there. And speaking of campfires, for those of you who didn't catch this tutorial in the past week, I was about to say Thursday, but it did not come out Thursday. It came out on Saturday. For those of you who didn't catch Saturday's tutorial, so weird to say, I made an on and off campfire, which was really fun to make. And if you haven't checked it out, I highly recommend you check that out. A card will be popping up in the top right corner. And as always, there will be a link to it in the description below. So there we go. We have 6 of these placed in. I have to make 6 more. And it looks a little funny from the top, but again, we don't really have to worry about that. We just need to worry about how this looks. And man, that definitely adds a lot of texture. And I'm wondering if we can put some over here as well. For those of you who remember, I played around with this side of the wall a lot, and this went through a lot of changes by the time the episode was done. But let me go ahead and place in the rest of these campfires, and I will be right back. All of the campfires are now placed in, and I think this looks really good. I even went ahead and added it to this side, and what I love about it is this connects right to the bottom, so it does have that support. And then we also have, yeah, that just looks really good. And then from the front view, let's go ahead and take a look. Yep, I am liking that a lot. Now, another comment mentioned that because in the last episode I wasn't quite sure what type of shop this should be. What I mentioned was this was my stone generator, and it's kind of in the middle of town, and I thought stone would be more industrial. Oh man, it's funny. Every time anyone with a custom skin logs on, that message pops up. So Blue Jay signed on. It said he switched from Steve to custom skin. Prowl was on for just a second. It said the same thing, and apparently Silent is rocking the Rancor skin and then switches it over to his skin, which I thought was just a regular Minecraft default skin, but apparently his is different, even though it's a zombie pigment. I did not know that. And someday I will have my own custom skin. You know, I get asked a lot what skin I'm using, and this is actually the Max Steel skin from the Dapper Folk skin pack, which is available in the marketplace. And no one is paying me to say anything like that. There's no sponsorship going on whatsoever. but I just wanted to mention that. That is the skin I use, but someday the goal is to eventually have a skin of my own, but at the moment that is a little difficult because I am playing mainly on my Xbox, and occasionally I do switch over to Windows 10, and when the time comes, when I'm fully on Windows 10, I do want my own skin. Now, like I was saying, oh man, so what had happened was in between that last clip and this one, Silent changed his skin again, just like that, and see, that's what I'm talking about. But I had mentioned it just jokingly. I just said stop it down in the comments, or not down in the comments, in the group chat. And let's see, if we take a look here, you can see where I said stop it, then Zloy went and changed his skin, and then Silent did. Zloy changed it again, Silent, Blue Jay, and Silent once again has changed his skin, and we have a lot of fun on this realm. We really do. Everyone here is so awesome. I really enjoy playing with everyone. Lots of fun and lots of laughs take place, not only on the realm, but in the Discord, and it's just such a great group. Yeah, these guys are amazing to play with, all of them. Now, if I can get back on track here, another comment had mentioned, waiting for something to pop up in the corner, another comment had mentioned that for this, because this is my stone generator, that it could be a pottery shop, because like I said, I wasn't sure how this would fit in, being more of an industrial type build because it's stone, but another comment had mentioned that it could be a pottery shop, and I totally like that idea. So what we're going to do is make sure this is my silk touch. So I went ahead and made 3 pots that I will place right here. So 1, 2, oh, I forgot one. 1, 2, 3. And let's go ahead and grab the glass panes, put these back in. And I almost could have made shelves if I really wanted to. Actually, no, I don't think I could have. No, I don't think so. But there we go. There are some pottery or vases, pots. Pots are now in the window, so we do have a little display going on, and that reminds me, I still need to put some cakes and pies in that window. And pretty much what we've been doing is displaying everything. Oh, I thought you got loose. For example, the meat shop, we do have meat in the window. This is the bakery. It's going to have pies and all that good stuff in the window. And then for this one, we now have ourselves a pottery shop, which is, again, such a great idea. I want to thank all of you in the comments for that. So again, for the idea for using campfires for the awning, and then also for the idea of using pots and making this whole place a pottery shop. I got a bit of work done in between this clip and the last clip. I spent some time earlier today working on the top side, doing some of that off-camera stuff that I said I would do. And if we take a look, the item sorter has finally been removed, as well as the XP furnace, minus the couple chests that are still here. I have to move these, but I completely removed the item sorter. All the items are now in the item sorter that is in the vault. And that is a project I've been meaning to do for quite some time. I know I've been talking about it. I'm so glad I finally got it done. And this allows me to place another building here and start building up the town some more. So that is super exciting. And I also worked on the road. I started expanding it this way. And I started adding in the railing for the sidewalk. So this is completed. I also added a tree here, a tree there, just to make it a little more green and kind of fill in the skyline just a bit. Still need to place in that lamppost and one more down here. And if we take a look, this is something I've been thinking about for quite some time. I know I mentioned this also. I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to build down in this area because it starts going downhill, it starts going towards water, and I wasn't quite sure how I could end this street. So what I was thinking, if we take a step back, is kind of the story behind this town I explained in the beginning of the season. It's progressing. There are now, instead of dirt roads, there are cobblestone roads, and the technology or the buildings are a little bit more modern. They're not made out of wood or anything like that. So just showing some progression of the residents of this town. They are, like I said, just building up the town. And of course, this town is still expanding. And this is why the road is going to turn into dirt, because I'm going to add a little barricade where some construction is being done, just to kind of block this area off. So maybe, I don't know, we'll use concrete, maybe some yellow and black for barricade, and maybe I can build up a bulldozer or something like that behind it. Just an idea. I think that'd be cool. And then that way, it kind of shows that, hey, there is an end to this town, but it's still expanding. So I think that's what I'm going to do for that. And I believe that is all I got done in between this clip and the last clip. I think that looks all right. I went ahead and used the yellow wool that I had because we had all that yellow wool left over when we bought it from Zap, and I had a few blocks of coal on hand. So I just did a quick little mock-up of what this barricade would look like, and just for some extra detail, I threw some redstone torches on top for a little caution sign, and I think that looks pretty good. Again, I do want to build some sort of bulldozer back here, and maybe I can turn this more into dirt, maybe coarse dirt. I did use coarse dirt, that way the grass doesn't spread over here, so you can see where I do have the coarse dirt and I have the dirt. I think I may do that, just again to end the city over here, but also to fill it in right there. And there is one more thing that I did work on. I totally forgot about it. Earlier in the season, I also mentioned having some sort of central storage system, and again, that is the item sorter that is down below in the vault. But what I was talking about, for those of you who remember, I wanted to build all of my farms. So we do have the stone generator. We do have this, which I could probably hook up to what I want to do. And I'm thinking some sort of sugarcane farm or something over here. But what I mentioned was having some sort of central storage where, especially the automatic farms, where it would break, all of the items from the farms would go down into some sort of collection system and make their way down. So let's go ahead. We're going to head inside the stone shop. I was kind of playing around with the design. So imagine if, well, we would need some sort of dispenser down below or dropper to spit items into a water stream. The water stream would go down this way, and all the other farms would connect underground, making that underwater, I guess, sewer line that I was talking about. It would flow down this way, and this comes out right above. I didn't want to come in here. This comes out right above the vault entrance. Let's go ahead and place these back. So it would come out right here, and what I'm thinking is I do need to use packed ice, so the idea of using glass running across the center here wasn't exactly the best idea. I may change up the pattern, and what I'm thinking is, because I do want to see items flowing around. Let's get back up here. Again, I do have the items that were in the item sorter. They are now over here. And I'm thinking what I can do for this side is have this side for my farm storage. So all the farms will run across, and it's like I said, instead of running this across the center, I can run this across the side, and it'd be cool to see all the items coming down and going down this way, kind of like how we can see the kelp. Just an idea, and then from there, all of the farm items can be sorted over on this side. So that is also what I did in between clips, and we aren't going to get to that today. That is still something I want to plan out. I do have something else that I want to do before we end today's episode. After filling up my storage, well, for the most part, we do have 3 more slots available for storage, but you can see everything is pretty much full, and this is pretty much the basic building blocks. So cobblestone, stone, dirt, gravel, grass blocks, andesite, granite, andesite, think about it, the bird poop, sand, sandstone, and then we do have the nether stuff, and then of course all the kelp blocks I've been getting from the Furnace XP farms right here. All that to say, I'm pretty much out of space already, so I don't have space for my bricks, my slabs, and pretty much I would say not the resource blocks, if that's what they're called, but the building blocks. So the bricks, like I mentioned, the stone bricks, and just the different types of slabs, walls, and things like that. I really don't have space to store all of those things. So what I'm thinking is we have this spot right here. And for those of you who watched me in Season 0 of Truly Bedrock, I had a storage system in my room that was in the inn. And what it would do is I would press a button, and let's say this was all... Well, this would be the wall, because we had a hidden storage, a rotating storage. So let's say this was all brick. I would press the button. This would rotate and reveal a whole wall of chests. I would press it again. We would have another set of chests right here. And then I had, I think, my furnace, or my crafting table, my furnace, and then my brewing stand, which, to be honest, I really didn't use that brewing stand too much, but it was just there, I guess, for looks. But what I'm thinking is I can install this once again over here, and I don't necessarily need to hide it, so I can have... So this is a 3x3, so 9 chests times 3. That would allow me to place 27 more chests in this wall. And again, it will rotate around. So that is what we're going to do for the remainder of this episode. And before you go leaving comments about how I called the diorite andesite, I realized I called the diorite andesite. So yes, I did catch that mistake there. I began work on the redstone. I have the bottom pistons placed in, and it is going to be a little close to the XP furnace over here. And I'm definitely not going to... Yeah, there's redstone right there. I'm definitely not going to be able to do anything over in this direction. So all of my wiring is going to have to go over on this side. And I'm just building my little glass tower right now. And that goes there. And we can just make our way up. And I don't remember how high up I have to go. I'm trying to do this off of my memory right now. We'll see. We'll see how well that serves me. And I think pretty sure these need to go facing down. Like that. And then these ones need to go... Whoop. What's going on here? These ones need to go, I think, right there. That does look correct. So that pushes up. Yep, a block back, because then this would push forward, and then this would push down. So everything looks correct. And I think I need to go back and look at my tutorial again, because I want to make sure I am wiring everything up correctly. After checking my redstone world where I create all of my tutorials, I realized I was building it correctly. So I guess I just second-guessed myself. So everything is working the way it should. I finished wiring up the piston feed tape here. And if we give this a press, this is not where it's going to go because I still need to wire up the little circuit that allows the piston feed tape to go multiple times because that only goes once. Still need to do that, but this part is done. And as I just mentioned, I do have a tutorial for this build. And as always, a card will be popping up for it in the top right corner. And if you didn't click on that card, there will also be a link down in the description below. Alrighty, I got that circuit all wired up and ready to go. And I moved the button up here where it's supposed to be. Now if we give it a press, 1, 2, 3, and there we go. Everything is all set. Now it's a matter of placing in the chests. Now let's go ahead. We're going to give this, let's say, how we're going to do this. Let's do, say, cobblestone. And we need to skip this gap here. I can place the block. Yep. 2, 3. And then this one. This is going to be the floor, like that. I don't remember how everything goes. So that is going to be a set right there. And then the next set, let's say, is going to be represented by the smooth stone. 1, 2, 3. And then, let's say, what do we have left here? Let's say our regular stone is going to be the last wall. So you can see right here where if these were chests, this would be in the wall. And if we press it... Don't know why that timing got off. I'm going to have to take a look at that. I want to go ahead and say it was realm lag because I did nothing. I didn't touch any of the wiring. But if we press it, now it is working. So that is very strange. Again, not surprising though because Bedrock can be a little janky when it does come to redstone. And unfortunately, there isn't anything we can do about that. So there we go, everything is working. There's our 3x3 of cobblestone, 3x3 of the smooth stone, and then our 3x3 of regular stone to show the difference. And once again, the floor would be right. You know what? I think it was this right here, because I did have a block and I do have that redstone. That would power that block, that would power that piston. And I bet you that was the culprit right there. Let's go ahead and take a look. Yep, that was it right there. Look at me trying to blame Bedrock for a mistake that I made. I mean, oh man, that's totally wrong of me. So yeah, that was my bad. That was not a Bedrock issue. That was totally me. So it was this right there. This build here was wired up differently than the way I did it in my tutorial. And because it wasn't wired up right there, I didn't have that glass block. With the redstone, I think it might have actually been one more block over or something like that. But I know that did not happen during the tutorial I made. But this is a very easy fix. Again, if this is going to be the floor, and this, the only thing with this is it can't be a solid block. So we can use glass if that's what you want to do. If you like to see a redstone, you can use a slab. You can use an upside down stair. So let's go ahead. I do have a slab like this. And we're going to go ahead and fix this side up real quick. So we're going to go ahead and troubleshoot this on camera. And I know for sure this is going to fix it. Okay. Smooth stone, stone, and cobblestone. There we go. So again, this can't be, at least with the way I set it up right here. Again, this is not going to be an issue in the tutorial. Again, I did wire that up differently. But if this is something you run into, or with any redstone build, you always want to check your wirings. You want to make sure nothing is being cross-wired like I did right there. And just small things like that you may not notice, but as you can tell, it did ruin the build. So when you're making your own redstone builds or following any tutorials, you do want to keep an eye out for that, especially if you make any changes. And anyways, enough talking. Let's go ahead and try this out. And okay, I guess I had a block up there. So that fixed it. That was the issue. Again, that was a solid block. To fix that, I just made it a transparent block. And this is all good to go. So all I need to do is fill this in with a bunch of chests. And I will have myself a rotating storage system down in the vault. All of the chests are now in place, and they will look like this when you first put them in, because they will connect and make a double chest. And the downside to this is we can see through, as you can see right here. So what I might actually do, well, let's demonstrate what this will do. We're going to press it. It will break up the chest just like this, and you can't really tell it's rotating because, well, they're all chests. But you did see it with the stone earlier that they actually do rotate. And what I might actually do is, I'm thinking I have 6 barrels left. Because these are going to be single chests anyways, I'm thinking I can use barrels instead. And that will also fill the gap. Yeah, see, it fills in the gap and then we can't see behind it. So it would just be a nice clean wall. I don't think I have any more barrels. Nope, none there. Do I have some in here? Nothing. Those have stuff in it. So, okay, we'll do 6 barrels for now and 3 chests. But yeah, definitely it does close up the wall. And you can see it rotating. We'll press it again. 3 chests. And of course, I can work in a crafting table, furnaces. I can do a furnace wall if I want to. Anything that can be pushed, which is pretty much anything in Bedrock Edition. And then it switches back to the barrels. So again, there we go. We have ourselves a working rotating storage system. This actually looks a bit confusing when it's all barrels, so I did have to put in furnaces and a crafting table, and I did throw chests back in just to make sure everything was working properly, because when it was all barrels, it didn't look like it was doing anything, and I also threw a boat into this barrel right here in the center. So let's go ahead, we're going to press it. And again, it doesn't look like these are really doing anything. You can see the shadows sometimes, and there's that because that's how I put it. Again, just trying to make sure everything is working properly. There are the 3 chests, and again, this didn't look like it did anything. And, oh yeah, I did place water in that barrel. So the next round should be the boat, right down here. And so sometimes it looks like it moves, and then other times it doesn't look like it does. But if it worked properly, which it should have, yep, there is the boat. So keep that in mind if you are trying to use barrels. It can look a little deceiving. And with this little project completed, we are going to come to the close of today's episode. And I think this was very productive. Like I said, I did a lot of cleaning up in between the middle of this episode, in between clips. And we also added in this rotating storage system. And now I can keep all of my building blocks in this area. And I don't know if I want to keep the barrels. Like I said, it is a bit confusing. Or if I want to switch it back over to chests. And then I'll just kind of decorate the inside because we can see through it. I'll have to think about that one. But again, item sorter is now down below. All of our storage, we removed it, placed it down here. Lots of cleaning up upstairs, and I do have an idea of what I want to do on the top side. So with that being said, everyone, this is the end of today's episode. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. This has been Rogue Fox, and I will see you later.